What's up, YouTube? I'm Aaron with All Three Pools and ICF Guru. I'm here in Barcelona, Spain. I came in here for the big pool show in Spain. It's one of the biggest two shows every year in Europe, and Renolit invited me to come in. They're also having a training academy this week. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's a whole bunch of Leicester welders on the other side of this wall going to town. Everybody's getting the hands-on welding practice today. But just kind of wanted to show you, this is a really similar setup to what we're doing in Missouri. Little more permanent setup. They've got these nice pool areas set up, and they're in like day 2 or day 3 of a 5-day training event where they are doing a lot of the smaller seam welds, stuff like that, just on the floor. But they will advance through 5 days. They will end up in one of these little pools that has a stair, which is one of the more complicated things. It also has a 45-degree stair on the other side over here, which just is different origami. You can kind of see it in here. The welding process is really similar to TPO roofing, but on a roof, you don't really care what the seams look like or anything like that. So with a pool, you want those seams to be either hidden or almost invisible. You want this to be, Tony's coming over here. You want this to be like beautiful. So that's a lot of what the training is about. Here, let me turn your mic on. So Tony's live now. But yeah, so what I was saying, Tony, while you were over there, is talking about how we're doing a training similar to this, but this is like kind of the OG training facility. Right. So one thing I've noticed, guys, yesterday was the first day we were over at the show with Tony, and I walked around, and you know, in the US, everybody still talks about Pebble Tech or plastering. You know, I'm not a huge fan because of our freeze-thaw cycles and ICF pools being so cold weather beneficial, yet all these plasters are kind of crappier the colder the weather gets, and membranes are so durable. And I think Europe's got that figured out, because in the entire show, I think I saw 2 or 3 plaster manufacturers and probably 15 membrane manufacturers, which in a totally different video in a minute, I want to get into the reasons. We just toured the factory, wasn't allowed to shoot any video in there. A lot of really high-level IP going on in there. But I totally understand why Renolit is kind of the Tesla, the highest end, most technologically advanced version of it. But back to the training of what we're doing. I met Tony about, what, 3 years ago? Two and a half, 3 years ago at the Vegas pool show. I had already kind of been eyeing Renolit as I realized how synergistic it was going to be with ICF pools. You got to talking to my partner Patrick and Eric about us becoming affiliated with you guys to train. Right. That's obviously the biggest shortcoming in the U.S. right now, is complete lack of the skill set. Absolutely. And we're teaming up with a few other companies that are nationwide going to be training you guys to install the membrane very professionally, because one thing I will say about a lot of the finishes that just want to get their product out there, a lot of the plasters, a lot of these other things, they might be a good product, but if they're not supporting it, it's pointless. And they'll skyrocket because they'll market, they'll put a bunch of money in that, and then there'll be so many failures that may not have been the product's fault, but it ruins the name. And Renolit is definitely not doing that. I mean, we could sell a lot more product if we just throw the rolls out there and wish them luck. We make them come in and get hands-on, you know, heat gun time.
It's the only way.
I think so.
The only way, this practical hands-on training that All Three Pools is providing, and we as Renolit are behind them 100%, behind you as the installer, as the extension of All Three Pools and Renolit. We'll have all the tools and all the training needed for all your ICF pools. So happy to go further into that right now if you want.
Well, yeah, we can talk. So Renolit, it's not a stretchy product. It's reinforced with a polyester fiber mesh. So you need to be very good at shaping it into crazy shaped pools. Like an old 60-year-old gunite pool shaped like a bowl is actually fairly difficult to install. ICF being rectilinear in nature, it's the best style of pool for Renolit out of the box. Like, it's just ready to go. So our builders find it very easy. It's the easiest skill set to develop.
It really is, 100%, Aaron. And everything is right angles. And the membrane, the reinforced PVC membrane, fits perfectly into all right angles. All your welds are hidden in the corners. All your welds are hidden at the bottom of the steps, bottom of the anything. So you're absolutely right.
You basically can't see the seams in a rectangle.
You cannot.
You can hide them really well. The other thing, when I first met Tony, I started talking about ICF, and he's like, well, I've heard about it, but I think there's some problems like with the connections at the top of the walls. But that's when my cabinet carpentry, I'm like, dude, I've got solutions for that, whatever. And we've developed some really cool top of wall details. Matt was really excited when he saw the commercial pools we just built with that,
Beautiful.
with that new integration of the blue weld strip. That's
Yes.
completely flush. There's like no rivets showing. So we'll show you
great.
all that at the training too, guys. That's kind of like where my mind just keeps going to the aesthetic, because we do such high-end work. You go to do an Olympic pool, nobody cares about seams 80 inches, 90 inches down on a pool that no one's ever going to touch the bottom of. But in these residential pools, they're walking around, they don't want to feel seams, so that's where your butt robot that we showed in that video yesterday, those are also awesome. So the future is bright in this thing, I think, don't you?
Aaron, you're right on. And thank you for your enthusiasm and
Absolutely.
thank you for your support. We have so much more to talk about.
We'll do more videos, we'll break them up into segments. 'Cause
Yeah, we'll do it.
Well, I do want to talk about how the quality of Renolit is, head and shoulders above other membranes and everything like that. So, because I just toured the facility and I already knew it, but now I've seen it with my eyes, the extra levels of quality control and chemistry. But we'll do that in another video. See you guys next time.